What is merchant services and examples? A merchant service is a provider of credit card processing services. In addition to banks, there are specific companies, often called merchant service companies, that offer credit card processing services. Examples: credit and debit cards payment processing, check guarantee and check conversion services, automated clearinghouse check drafting and payment services, gift card and loyalty programs, payment gateway, merchant cash advances, online transaction processing, point of sale (POS) systems, electronic benefit transfer programs such as ration stamps. Who is considered a merchant? A merchant represents a person or company that sells goods or services. An e-commerce merchant refers to a party that sells goods or services exclusively through the internet. There are basically two types of merchants, wholesale and retail. Newer types of merchants known as e-commerce merchants have emerged with the increase of online shopping popularity in an ever-growing digital world. What is a merchant account? A merchant account is a bank account specifically established for business purposes where companies can make and accept payments. Note that a merchant account isn't the typical bank account. This is a basic assumption that poses a lack of clarity for most business owners. Merchant services accounts allow businesses to accept credit and debit card transactions or other forms of electronic payment from customers, with the aid of a payment gateway. Merchant account services often come with added fees, but also an array of services. Most often the merchant has to cover the transaction fees from payment processors, the credit card association, and the issuing bank for the merchant account. To that effect, it's perhaps savvier for the merchant to look out for an option that'll help cut down the cost per transaction. On the other hand, a low processing fee doesn't guarantee reliable service and support in the long run. Merchant account provider versus merchant services provider. While the two entities overlap quite a bit, there are some distinctions between merchant services and merchant account providers. The former is a much broader term that's used to describe an organization that has various offerings for merchants, including payments, technology integrations, business services, etc. Merchant account providers typically stick to helping businesses set up their merchant account, i.e., the type of bank account that enables you to accept credit and debit card payments. In many cases, these terms are used interchangeably. Steps to open a merchant account. If you're looking to start accepting credit card payments from your customers, then you'll need to open a merchant account. While the process may feel overwhelming at first, it's definitely doable. Get a business license. To open a merchant account, you'll have to prove your business is legitimate. The very first step is to get a valid business license. Open a business bank account. Once you have a business license, you'll need a business bank account. This bank account is where your merchant account provider will deposit your credit card sales and withdraw any fees. Most businesses prefer to open a business bank account with a local bank, as local banks tend to provide a level of convenience and customer service that can't be matched by online accounts. To get started with a business bank account, you'll need to provide your EIN, employer identification number, and your business license. Evaluate your needs. Before you can open a merchant account, think about your business needs. For example, you'll need to decide which credit cards you want to process. Will you accept American Express or just MasterCard and Visa? What about ACH or eChecks? Next, you'll need to consider how you want to accept credit card payments. Do you simply need an in-person solution for processing payments in your brick-and-mortar store? Or do you need a solution that supports mobile payments and online payments? How will your customers pay you? Will you provide a customer payment portal where customers can pay off invoices? Map out exactly what your business will need, including both the short term and the long term. If you're planning on expanding in the next few years and anticipate additional payment needs in the future, be sure to include them in your planning. Complete an application to open your merchant account. Once you've compared merchant account providers and made a choice, you'll need to fill out an application. This application will require detailed information about your business, so be prepared with all necessary documentation. You'll most likely need to provide business start date, contact information, authorized signer information, the person who is authorized to withdraw or spend money from the account, bank account and routing numbers, tax ID, estimated processing volume in dollars. Depending on the amount of volume you expect to process, you'll need to provide more or less information. For example, a small business that expects to process several $1,000s a month may only need to provide a voided check and proof that they're currently conducting legitimate business. In contrast, a larger business may need to provide bank statements going back several years. Submit to underwriting. Taking on a merchant account is a risk for both the account provider and the acquiring bank. The provider will therefore underwrite and assess your business before accepting you. They're looking for red flags like high-risk businesses or industries, warning signs of fraud, or businesses that haven't been operating for very long. If your business is established and has proven good standing for at least a few months to a year, you should make it through the underwriting process without any problems. However, new businesses may struggle to make it past the underwriting stage, as account providers and banks are less likely to accept the risk of a new business. Get your merchant account approved and start processing. Depending on the provider, opening a merchant account can take anywhere from 1 business day to about a week. Once your business is approved, you can start accepting credit card payments from your customers right away. Merchant services products. The next essential part of what makes up merchant services is the different tools available for payment processing. The products that merchant service providers offer to businesses in order for them to actually be able to accept and process payments in a way that works for them and their customers. Contactless payments. Contactless payments include credit and debit cards, Apple Pay, Android Pay, Google Pay, Fitbit Pay, and other devices that use near-field communication, NFC, or radio frequency identification, RFID. Mobile payments. Mobile payments are payments made for a product or service through a portable electronic device such as a tablet or cell phone. Mobile payment technology can also be used to send money to friends or family members with applications such as PayPal and Venmo. Credit card terminals. A credit card terminal, also called an electronic data capture terminal or EDC terminal, is an electronic device that enables merchants to accept credit cards, allowing customers to swipe, dip, or tap their credit or debit card to make a payment. E-commerce. E-commerce is the activity of electronically buying or selling products on online services or over the internet. From accepting credit cards and debit cards online to set up your customized web store, e-commerce solutions can bridge the gap when in-person payments are not an option. Virtual terminals. A virtual terminal is a software application for merchants that allows them to accept payment with a payment card, specifically a credit card, without requiring the physical presence of the card. POS, point of sale, systems. A point-of-sale system, or POS, is the place where your customer makes a payment for products or services at your store. Simply put, every time a customer makes a purchase at your store, they're completing a point-of-sale transaction. Payment gateways. A payment gateway is a piece of software that works with your website or e-commerce store and allows you to take and process secure credit card payments online. The payment gateway serves in the place of a credit card terminal.
Important questions to ask your merchant services provider. How are your equipment costs structured? What are your processing costs? Are there any other costs or fees? What kind of contract is required? What kind of reporting and statements are offered? Is all of your equipment PCI DSS compliant?
What should you look for in a merchant services provider? While looking for a merchant services provider, make sure to take note of their costs. Depending upon the kind of solutions you need, you will most likely have to keep the following charges in mind. Flat rate. Interchange plus pricing. Tiered rates. One-time and incidental fees. Account fees. Minimum processing fees. Statement fees. PCI compliance fees. Account setup fees. Cancellation fees. Chargeback fees. NSF fee. Final words. We believe that all of this useful data should be placed in the hands of business owners like you. You can increase your knowledge and make strategic decisions that will positively impact your business.